Welcome everyone, I'm ASVP. This is the ASVP experience, and tonight we got the Raw review. Now, starting off the Raw review, we have Drew coming out and challenging Seth for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. However, he does get interrupted by Angel Garza. Andrade comes out, but he does counter them, claymores Andrade, and puts himself over. Now, I like this because, first of all, Drew came out. Yeah, he said some quirky stuff, but he got to the point he's going to challenge Seth for the WWE Championship, which was pretty good from last week's Attack. And also, they still continue the storyline with, Selena Stable and all that, with Austin Theory, Angel Garza, and Andrade, which was pretty good. And then we found out after that also that Angel Garza versus Drew McIntyre at the main event tonight, which was also good because last week on Raw we had Andrade versus Drew. Now we have Angel Garza versus Drew. After that we had the first Money in the Bank qualifying match, Aleister Black versus Austin Theory, and Black wins. Not really much to do with the match. Black, he got most of his moves in. Austin showed some glimpses of greatness, but also it's WWE, so you never know with them. Then we had Shayna versus Hardwell, and Shayna does the same thing like she did last week on Raw, and jumps with her foot onto Hardwell's arm. However, after that, she one-upped it. She brought out a ladder just because of the Fiend Money in the Bank ladder match. She puts it down. She puts Hardwell's other hand between the ladder and kicks it. And I really like this because, again, it makes Shayna look tough. It also positions Shayna to, for people to actually fear her. And in the women's division, you actually need someone like her because they don't have anyone. They tried it with Nia Jax. That's a fail. They tried it with Tamina. That's pretty much a fail. All the other girls, they're not really the hardest. You do have Ronda, but she's nowhere near WWE right now. But, that's about it. And it's good to have a woman like that because she's always a good fallback to have when it comes to heels and for someone to get the championship, because she can always be over, even though she has a couple of losses here and there. She still looks strong. Which, she lost to Becky, and now she looks, she looks stronger than ever. She looks stronger now than she was before WrestleMania, which in one way is good. After that, we had the team of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander versus Shane Thorne and Brendan Vick. Shane Thorne, Brendan Vick, solid pair. However, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander gets the win, which they needed. Like I said before, they literally can go anywhere with these two if they push them because they're great, they're athletic, they're nowhere near good on the mic. That's why they use their They use their actions. Just like when Ricochet first came to the WWE at NXT, he made his debut and he did like a backflip out of the ring onto the floor. Didn't say not one word. For that's something Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, those type of competitors, that's what they should be doing, which I reckon was pretty good that they won the win. Next up, we had Kairi Sane taking on Nia Jax, and Asuka had all the hope for Kairi, but poor Kairi, she was just outwitted and outmuscled by Nia. Anyways, we go to a cutscene of Seth sitting on his Messiah chair. And honestly, I'm liking how Seth's looking. I'm liking his gimmick. This is the type of gimmick Seth needs. When he plays a, overconfident babyface, yeah, it's good for about 2 weeks, and then it gets, just shoved around, and it just becomes stale. When he becomes that annoying heel, it's in the title, annoying heel. He's just annoying, and it's not even fun to watch or anything. However, when he actually comes down, like when he was at the Shield, like an architect, a heel, now that he's kind of like back in the Shield. He's like an architect. You know, he's planning where to make his spots, this, that, which I really like. Anyways, he comes out, you know, and he accepts the challenge, which is pretty good. I really like this promo and segment. Next up, we had MVP taking on Apollo Crews for the Money in the Bank qualifying match. And honestly, MVP, for all that 5-10 minutes that he put into this match, you could see how gassed he was. And honestly, it's good that Apollo won. He needs the win. He needs, you know, they need Apollo to, because I can really see him like a USA Intercontinental Champion, like a pure babyface for that title, which I reckon is pretty good. Is he gonna win the Money in the Bank? Doubt it. I still reckon it's either Daniel Bryan or Aleister Black. But yeah, it was good to see the win. Next, we had Ruby Riott versus Liv Morgan, and Liv won. See this match right now. If they built it right, it actually could be good, because they were from the same stable, and like you can hear the commentators, Jerry the King Law was saying, oh, Liv wants to one up her former member, this, that, and it's pretty pathetic to think like how they book matches like these in WWE, because like you got one talented girl, Ruby Riott, you got a great talent also with Liv Morgan, and you can literally see the potential for them to bring themselves to like the main event level for the women, though they're just not getting the chance. If this is the start of a feud to happen, I actually wouldn't mind it, though I think it's probably just gonna be a one-off match. But hopefully WWE sees and tries to push this a little bit longer. Play that Money in the Bank, give it another pay-per-view. We'll see how we go, but Liv gets the win. Next up, we had Ray versus Buddy Murphy for the Money in the Bank qualifying match, the last one for Raw, and Ray wins. Now, I'm personally happy Ray won, but Buddy should have won this match. Just because, imagine having Buddy winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. Imagine Seth, healing it up, wins the WWE Championship, them coming as a stable again. Seth keeps telling Buddy, like, go for the other title, this, that, so he can be a champion, and Buddy backstabs him. He wins the WWE Championship. So I would really want to say that the WWE aren't gonna let Drew lose anytime soon. Just because Roman was supposed to be in the position where Drew is, and if Roman won that title, he was not losing that title for any time soon. Which I reckon as well with Drew, he's not gonna lose anytime soon. Which probably that's why they didn't really put Buddy in there or anything. But yeah, like it was a solid match. If you gave these guys half an hour, they could literally tear the roof off the place. After that, we had Charlotte Flair taking on Kayden Carter. And Charlotte's whole thing tonight was she's just too good for the NXT roster, this, that. Kayden Carter comes out and she wants to show her that NXT still has it. Flair wins pretty easily, and that's about it. Next, we had the Bobby Lashley segments. You know what? They were pretty good. Stuff like this is good to show Bobby, because you literally see his strength, and you just think, wow, like there's actually no one else in WWE who could be doing his stuff. And honestly, he deserves to be being pushed. Then we had Andrade versus Akira Tozawa, and Andrade wins. Nothing about this match, to be honest. It was just a filler. They could have actually not even put this match in at all, and they could have put the main event a little bit longer, but I'll get to that. After that, we had Bianca Belair versus Santa Gara, and Bianca wins. However, the Street Profits were actually really good on commentary. They were hyping it up. it's something good to see in the WWE, because you know they have mojo and stuff to hype it up, but like with the Street Profits, it's different. You know, they got more of a feel with the younger audience, and even like it's different to the New Day as well, because you know New Day are more of a face and like more for the kids, this that, but the Street Profits, you know, they were saying, you know, like NBA quotes and stuff like that, which is pretty good. It gives more of an audience a feel for them. And then we had the main event, Angel Garza versus Drew. It was exactly like, you know, last week's Raw main event where Drew was taking on Andrade. Similar match, same ending. Drew won. There was a bit of an interference. Drew overcame that, and that was about it. That was the way to end Raw. Now this Raw was good, like I said at the start. This Raw had some pretty good ups, although it had a lot of bad downs. The thing we can take off with this is at least WWE is kind of getting it consistent with their bookings. You know, they're trying to link up more and more of the storylines, which is good, and they're not putting like hokey stuff and all that quirky stuff out, which is good as well. Like some matches, you know, some bookings like they had today, like the Shayna angle, that's great for her. But stuff like, you know, the Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, the Ray Murphy match, you know, Andrade Tozawa, that type of stuff, that's just more for fillers, and I reckon WWE really need to stop with that. And they need to make matches longer. And the thing is, after these few weeks of like, you know, of this coronavirus and WWE having no audience, this that, like I feel like Raw and SmackDown both, majority Raw, the formula for the whole show, the whole 3 hours, is exactly the same as every week now, and they need to change that up. They should be having, you know, just as AEW does, 40-minute main event, no holds bar match. You know, give the audience at least a whole wrestling match so they can watch. You know, at least try to be more creative with it. You have no audience, you can do whatever you want now. You know, WWE, they could easily, you know, put like their own audience in, do like a lumberjack match, something like that, just to make it a bit different than doing, you know, every week 4 to 5 minute match. You know, whoever comes out in the beginning, which is either Drew or probably Charlotte Flair or something like that, Becky Lynch, they say like a promo for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, someone interrupts them, there's the main event. They need to find something different with that. Now, I heard rumors that apparently the Money in the Bank ladder match is actually filmed on the WWE Towers, which is pretty cool to see. Which, you know, it kind of gets you going. But yeah, like I'll be keen to see. Like I just want WWE to produce different stuff every week, just so it's not boring and repetitive. And I feel like right now it's come to that stage where it's repetitive and people don't want to be watching it. You know, they rather be watching a show on Netflix. So yeah, that's the WWE Raw review. Stay tuned. Like and subscribe. Hope to hear you guys soon. Bye.